So guys, what is happening? It's nice to be back again. I look a little bit rough. I've only just woken up, even though it's like nearly 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Unfortunately, WrestleMania was on last night. I had to watch WrestleMania. Had to be done. So with that, today I'm bringing you another video in the series of helpful videos of things that are helpful for Star Trek Attack Wing. And today we're going into Romulans. We're going to look at these today instead. So yesterday we had the Federation. Today we've got the Romulans. Wait a second. Okay, no problem. So without any further ado, I'm going to dive straight into it. So as the same as yesterday, anything that's got a sideward card, basically that means that there's two cards under there to compare next to each other. Luckily for the Romulan list, there is only one, but I have no admirals or any like ambassadors or anything like that for this list because I don't really use the ones from the packs and stuff. So I've just not put none in today. We are going to start off with the top 10 ships. Remember, guys, these are not in any sort of specific order. They are just 10 ships that I like or I think work. So starting with number 10. We've got the Gul Gathong. So basically it's a 2-2-3-2 stat line. It's got all the bits you need there. It doesn't do a scan or a battle station, as you've probably noticed, compared to Federation. But we do have Cloak and Sensor Echo instead. 18-point ship, 2 and 2 on the stat lines. We've got 2 red, 2 green, 3 yellow, and 2 blue. And the ship's ability is, when initiating an attack while cloaked, you may fire plasma torpedoes without needing a target lock, which is lovely. So not really too much to say on that one, but you can fire your plasmas without a target lock. Moving on to number 9, the Algeron. So it's a D7. It's got 3-1-3-2 on its stat line. Again, no battle station or scan, but we do have, again, target lock. Sorry, not target lock. Cloak and Sensor Echo. So, when attacking with your primary weapon, if your ship is not cloaked, during the declare target step, you may perform a 1-4 maneuver before choosing an enemy ship to attack. So, it's not bad. You could do an extra little maneuver before you actually have to take a choice. So, if you're at range 3, for instance, and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to take a shot with him at range 3, but hang on, he's going to get the extra dice because it's range 3. So with that, you'd turn around and you'd say, no, let's not do it. What we are going to do is we're going to edge forward slightly, get him into range 2, and then pop a shot instead. And that is the Algeron. 18 points. It's got 1-1-1 on its stats bar. It's not really much more you can say than that, other than it's a beautiful little ship that does naughty things, like edges closer. In at 8 is the Talvath. So the Talvath is a great little science vessel. It's got 3 tech slots on its bar. It's only got 1 attack, but you don't really use this for attack. This is more of a transport ship than anything. I believe it comes under the new rulings. So it's actually now classed as an auxiliary vessel, if I'm correct. So it should be, classed as the same sort of thing as the Sakharov or the Delta Flyer. Does have the action on it. So for the ship's action, if you are within range 1 to 3 of at least one enemy ship, you can roll 3 defense dice. For every evade you roll, you place an evade token beside your ship. And you cannot perform any free actions this round. So, as you got 2 options. Ooh, do I do a free action or do I go with, the Talvath? In which case, then it's just whatever's choice for you at the moment. In at 7, Prototype 1. Now, this is only on the list because I think it looks cool. I don't actually have mine in the my cabinet's over there, so I don't actually have mine to hand. Otherwise, I'd show you the actual ship itself. But just take my word for it for now. The prototype one is a pretty cool looking ship. It basically looks a bit like a bug. In particular, it's hard to actually. Do you know what? Screw that. Give me a second. I'm gonna go get it. If I can find it. Where are you, bug? Looking for. Okay, apparently I don't have my bug. Very curious. Ah, yes I have. There it is. I got it. I'll be back now. My apologies. I found it. So, it looks like this. Oh, I'm showing it over there. I'm trying to think about what it looks like. It looks like a mixture between, like, I don't know, maybe a cricket and like a roach or something. But basically it looks like a mixture of those two. Which is pretty cool. We like that one. It's a good little ship. They did come with a card pack, which had Prototype 2, which was featuring a different captain. I don't think I got either of those captains on this list either, if I remember rightly. But basically, they are Romulan drone pilots. This one's ability is, during the end phase of each round, you can repair 1 damage to your hull or shields. Your choice. Which is why I've picked this one, because you got 3 defense, 3 attack, 3 hull, 3 shields. Doesn't do a cloak or target lock, a cloak or a sensor echo, but we have replaced it and got a scan instead. So if you could like find a way of getting a battle station on it or a cloak or something, you'd be absolutely laughing. Great ship. Moving on, number 6. The Talon came in the animated series pack, faction pack. There are still a few floating around somewhere if you're lucky enough to find them. So it is a D7 class, the same as the Algeron. But before this ship reveals its maneuver dial, if this ship is cloaked, you can perform a 1 left, straight or right bank, or perform a free sensor echo. It's got the back to cloaking and sensor echoing on the bar, which is nice. And obviously same stat line as the other one, which is 3132. So not really much more to say there, except for the fact it's less points as well. It's only 14 points compared to the Algeron's 18. And moving on. 5. The Valdor. So as we get closer up the top end of the list now, you'll notice that quite a lot of the cards, these ones are like sort of pretty much in order of things I do like. This one. So the top 5. Speaking of which, really, pretty much all of them are actually in order, to be fair. Looking at the whole list there, I think they're all in order. So, the Valdor, 27 points. It is a bit expensive, but, you know, it's Romulan. It's supposed to be expensive because of what it does. 4 attack dice, 2 defense, 6 on your hull, 3 on your shields. When attacking, if this ship performs a green maneuver this round, you roll 1 attack dice. Get off, dog. You can roll a +1 attack dice. Great little ship. You're going to get in trouble. Go and lie down. Sorry about that. One moment. Just give me a few seconds. Speaking in a bit, yeah. Ta. It's all going on at the moment, isn't it? First he wouldn't lie down and then a phone call. Right, where was we? My apologies about that. So yeah, Valdor, do a green maneuver. You get an extra dice for your attacks this turn. It's great. It's great for its maneuvering. Obviously, you get 2. If you're cloaked, it'll give you +4. It gives you 6 defense dice. That's before you've even added any more for like ranges or abilities. It's just naughty. So I can't really say too much more about that one. In at 4, Sealer's Warbird. I love Sealer's Warbird. Unfortunately, Sealer's Warbird is very expensive due to the fact it was an OP prize ship and it only ever had one print in, which, you know, I don't actually think there was that many of them made as a whole, to be fair. But I got my hands on one. There's one in that cabinet I'm well happy about. And she is absolutely naughty what she does. So she's only got a 3 dice attack, but she has a 2 defense dice. She has a 6x4 for her hull and shields. And during the activation phase, if your ship is cloaked and performs the sensor echo, you may flip your token to its red side and immediately perform an additional sensor echo. So she gives you 2 sensor echoes in one turn, which has never really been known by the ship's abilities, because they don't normally allow you to do 2 sensor echoes, as we know, because you can only do 1 action of each type per turn, unless you're placing one or performing one, in which case then you get to have 2, which is nice. So yeah, she literally gives you 2 sensor echoes. You bang on the Romulan cloaking device, which we'll talk about later, and you're going sideways as you do it. Which is a fact I proved in a game the other night to a friend of mine, and he just went, "That's not good." I'm like, "No, it's not," because obviously he's learning the ropes. Big shout out to our man Trav out there. And anyway, moving on. Number 3, the Suran. So come in, sensor echo out the way because you've got the RCD normally on board. During the combat phase, after the ship attacks, you can then perform a 2 green or left or a 2 green right bank maneuver. Back out the way again you go. Lovely ship. I remember the UK champion Brian actually used this ship against me once and just left me sitting there going, because there's just nothing you could do. You come in, you literally come in, move out of the way, shoot, and then move even further out of the way. Disgusting. Stat line 4263, 28 points. It's got 2 crew, 1 weapon, 1 tech. Great little ship. But the only problem is, it comes in the original Romulan faction pack from 2017, which I luckily got my hands on one. And you're looking probably about £200 at the moment to buy them. It's a bit steep. In at 2, the Scimitar. No Romulan list would be complete without the Scimitar. This is the new Scimitar in respects to the old one. So it's 34 points. It's got 2 crew, 2 tech, 1 weapon. It's got 4 shields. It's got 7 hull. It's got 2 for its defense. It's got 6 for its attack. And it's got the ability that, when attacking, if this ship is cloaked, place an auxiliary power token beside this ship and do not flip your cloak token to its red side. There is also another card in the game which I'm sure is in the list, so I won't go into its name. But basically what it does is it'll turn around to you later and say, oh, hang on, this is the scimitar. You fired while cloaked, but we think you need that little bit of extra stability, so you can keep your shields up while you're cloaked. It's great. And then I'm not going to talk too much about it, obviously, like I say, because I want to try and get through the list a bit quicker than last night. So in at number 1, my favourite ship, the Kazara. So she is a Tadaridex class at standard. She's got 6 hull, 4 shields, 2 defense, and 3 attack. By the way, if I call it defense, that's just my terminology. The actual terminology for the green bar is agility. So if anything talks about agility values, it means your green bar. It is 30 points. It does give you 3 crew, 1 weapon, 1 tech. But it also states that if you initiate an attack while you're cloaked, you can add 1 attack dice to your dice roll. Which is just lovely. Absolutely lovely. Without a doubt, my favourite ship in the game is the Kazara for Romulans. Because I loved it in the series when you see Toreth, as she just comes out of nowhere, and she's very diplomatic, but, you know, quite stern. She was one of my first loves. Right next to Kayla, funnily enough. But yeah, we won't reminisce on the old days. So we're going to move straight into captains. Captains. This one has an admiral side, as you can see by the fact it says 2 when I do that, which is just above the hand. That one doesn't see. So there is 2 cards. There's only 1 card there. But when I flip it, it's because it's got an extra card. Well, we now know who's under here. Captain Aladar Jarok. He's got an action that states that you can target a ship within range 1 and remove 1 token. So you can remove a evade, you can remove a target lock, a scan, a battle station. It's basically designed against mostly like Federation fleets, because it is basically a standard Federation bar that you can remove. If you remove the target lock, you have to remove the corresponding target lock from their side as well. So it's all good. He is 4 points. And he is a captain skill of 6 with a tech slot, not tech slot, with an elite talent slot as well. But as we've just said, he also has an admiral side as well, which is nice. Which reminds me of a good fleet build for that, actually. Anyway, flipping this one over. Sela is in at 9. So Sela is an action again. So when defending this round, the attacking ship cannot benefit from or spend a scan or battle station. So, yeah, just check. I had to stop and check, make sure I read that right, because brain's not functioning this morning, I don't think. This afternoon, I think. So, the basic idea is, if you've got a scan or a battle station, and Sela's on the opposite ship, she's going to go, you're not using those. And she stops you dead in your tracks. She is only 4 points, but she is Captain Skill 7 with an elite talent slot as well. So she is one of my... I don't think I've used her a few times, but not enough to say she's hugely used by me. That's why she's like quite low on the list. Number 8. Tomahawk. The new Tomahawk, I believe. So he adds a tech upgrade to the bar, which is nice. So he gives you if you haven't got one, he'll give you a second one. First one, sorry. If you've got one, he'll give you the second one. If you're running him on something like the Talvatha's got 3, he'll give you a 4th, which is absolutely disgusting if you want to do cloaked mines, because you could just run in and go pew, 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 with cloaked mines, and there's nothing they can do. He also states that when attacking, this ship may re-roll 1 attack dice for each tech slot equipped to it. So if you've got 4 tech slots on that ship, you can re-roll 4 attack dice every turn, which is quite naughty. He is a captain skill 8, and he gives you an elite talent. He is 5 points, so he is quite expensive, but he's worth taking if you have to. 7. It's a double because I couldn't pick which one I liked more. But Liviana Charvanek, I absolutely adored her in the original series. I didn't watch that till I was a little bit older, so my first love of Star Trek was Kayla and Denatra and obviously Sela, and Toreth, actually, funny enough. But she was like later on after I'd watched the original series. She was like the love of that series, if you like. So I've done 2 different cards for her because they both struck me as, favourites and things that I've used. So one is a captain skill 6 at 4 points. One is a captain skill 5 at 3 points. The one on the left, if your ship has the cloak action on its action bar, you can place a cloak token beside your ship, then immediately perform an additional action from the action bar as a free action. So she's great. You can cloak, take a free sensor echo, and move whichever way you like. And then obviously you take another action after it then because, well, you can't actually because that is her action, tell a lie. Unless you've got something that then gives you a further action, which is very nice. Like, I know the RCD gives you another action, but I don't think you can perform the two moves, the 2 sensor echoes. Then you've got this one on the right. So when one of your crew upgrades is supposed to be disabled, you can roll defense dice. If you roll a battle station, that upgrade is not disabled. If you were disabling the crew upgrade to perform its action or ability, that action or ability still performs even if the upgrade does not disable. So she's basically a nice little, for the sake of argument, you want to do something with her, you go, oh, okay, I've got this crew here. To use this crew here, I have to disable it. I don't really want to disable it, but I want that action. So you go, oh, hang on, battle station not disabled, but I still get its action. Perfect. So yeah, there's the Liviana Charvanex. 6. Rakar. You've got to have a list with Rakar because there's a couple of different Rakars in the game, and they're all as naughty as each other. So this one, you do not pay a faction penalty when equipping this card or any Romulan crew upgrades to a Federation ship. So whereas normally you'd pay the faction penalty and make him a 4 on a Federation ship, this case you do not. When attacking with a weapon upgrade, you may re-roll up to 2 blanks. If that upgrade is a non-Romulan upgrade, you can roll +1 attack dice. So if you are on a Federation ship with Rakar and you're using the photon torpedoes, the 2-point ones, not only the fact is it going to give you, say, 6 dice standard, but then Rakar will make it 7 and give you 2 rerolls on that weapon upgrade. If it's the Transphasics, that's even worse because you get so many for your weapon, and then you'd get Rakar as well. So it's a lot of rerolls there. Moving on to 5. Salatrell. She is Captain Skill 5. She has 3 points to play. And at the start of the game, after setup, you choose a faction. For the rest of the game, during each combat phase, if a ship of that faction is in your forward firing arc, you treat your captain skill as if it were 10 until the end of that round. So if you go into battle, you call Federation, and 9 times out of 10 the majority of your opponent's ships are going to be Federation. You literally rolling at the captain skill 10, so you'll get to shoot first and stuff every turn, which is lovely. 4. Valdor. When attacking, if your ship is not in the target's forward firing arc, add 1 attack dice. So as long as you're not in your prey's front arc, so if you're off to the sides or the rear, you can add an extra dice. He is one of my go-tos that I have gone to once or twice before, a few times, and got on really well with. He is only 3 points to play him. He is only a captain skill 5, but he is great for if you can get in, center echo out, and then just keep popping at your opponent. He does wondrous things. 3, Laris. Everybody loves Laris. So one of my go-to builds for Laris is Twilight's Wrath, which I didn't put in this list, to be fair, reluctantly, because I do like to use the Twilight's Wrath quite a lot. But basically what will happen is each game round, if you perform a center echo, you can place a battle station beside this ship, and this ship will roll +1 attack dice this game round. Twilight's Wrath. Put on the Romulan cloaking device. Perform a center echo every turn, because obviously you're cloaked. Perform the center echo. Because you've performed the center echo, Laris will give you a +1 attack dice every turn and a battle station to go with it. And then you just basically, I think if I remember rightly, it gives you a target lock for a green maneuver, the Twilight's Wrath. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I don't have it to hand, but I'm pretty sure that's what he does. So he's naughty for things like that. Number 2, Shinzon. You've got to have Shinzon in your list, because any Romulan list without a Shinzon is not a Romulan list, as far as I'm concerned. Because Shinzon will give you the battle station on your action bar, and he's got the free action that if your ship is cloaked, you can perform an action on the ship's action bar as a free action. So, Romulan cloaking device. Cloak your ship. Perform a center echo as a free action. Take the battle station, because of Shinzon, as a free action. Leaving your actual action for the ship open, which could be target lock, evade. I can't think what else there is, but basically you get the general gist of where I was going with that. So he is absolutely dirty. This is the new one. Ignore that card there, because that was just the first card I picked. Flip this one over. He has an Admiral side as well, so he still adds a battle station, but his is a fleet action. You remove all time tokens or disable tokens from weapon upgrades equipped with the ship, and then perform an action as a free action on your bar. In at 1. Let's play a little guessing game. Let's see if anyone can tell me what is in at number 1. It is a captain we've already mentioned. Denatra. I adore this Denatra, because she's only at range 1, but as I said about yesterday with my sovereign fleets, if you can put her on the Masashi, not only the Masashi will give you extra attack dice, an extra hit, and all the bits it does when it's a sovereign class or a federation ship, but this one, Denatra as your captain, she's a captain skill 6, she's 4 points, and her ability is at range 1. When a friendly ship within range is attacking, that friendly ship may roll +1 attack dice. If that friendly ship is either a Valdor class or a sovereign class, it may also convert a blank into a hit. My UK Nationals fleet from last year, obviously I was going to go, fell ill, didn't manage to make it, actually had the Sovereign, the Masashi, and the Prometheus, but she was the captain of the Prometheus, because the plan was to put her at the back, fly the Masashi and the Sovereign in first. Obviously the Masashi then boosts the Sovereign, and then she would boost them both from behind as well. Unfortunately fell ill, didn't kind of happen, so it's one of those things. But Denatra is my favourite captain out of the Romulans. Moving on down, we've got elite talent slots next, so I'm not going to talk too much about these. They are pretty much self-explanatory, most of them. So, number 10, make them see us. While cloaked during the activation phase, before revealing your dial, you may discard this card to target a ship that is already target locked. Remove your target lock from the ship, and if you do, this and your ship's base or maneuver template overlap the target ship's base during the execute maneuver step. Inflict an amount of damage equal to the current speed of the maneuver. So if you're set back here at like speed 4 and there's a ship up here at speed 4 distance, like, you can make them see us, drop your cloak, Then you perform a maneuver. So if your dial is set to a 4 straight, and you go bump, and you hit your opponent at a 4 speed, you basically cause 4 damage to your opponent. Because as you see there, it is a maximum of 4. That hurts. Especially seeing as most ships these days don't really have strong hull values. That would hurt a lot. The ship whose captain has the higher captain skill rolls a number of defense dice against the damage equal to the difference in your skill numbers. This upgrade can only be purchased for a Romulan captain on a Romulan ship. So, yeah, it's quite nasty. Number 9, double back. After you perform a sensor echo action, you can discard this card to immediately do a 2 or 3 full of stern. So you just basically double back on yourself. So you go, which works lovely. In an 8, coordinated attack. If your ship is not already attacked from this round, you may discard this card to perform an attack with your primary weapon at -1 attack immediately after a friendly ship attacks, regardless of initiative order. So it's okay, it's not bad, but if you haven't shot, it lets you shoot, if you like. 7, decoy. When defending, before any dice are rolled, you may discard this card and any one of your weapon or tech upgrades to force your opponent to roll 3 less attack dice this round. So they pick you as your target. You go, I'm discarding this. I'm going to get rid of that. And then they have to roll 3 less dice. Invasion plans. When you initiate an attack against a ship at range 2 to 3 while you are cloaked, you may discard this card to force that ship to roll 2 less defense dice against your attack. So it's basically decoy in reverse. Self-explanatory. Bit costly at 5 points, but it's worth it. 5, counter-attack. So, action. If your ship's shields or hull are damaged by a ship in your forward firing arc this round, you may immediately make 1 free attack action against that ship. Only 3 points, definitely worth doing. But if you get destroyed, you don't get to use that card as well, by the way. 4, cloaked attack. So, when attacking with your primary weapon during the roll attack dice step, you may discard this card and spend your cloak token to gain +2 attack dice. And then fire everything is in at 3. When attacking, if you deal no damage or your attack was cancelled, disable this card. You may perform an additional attack with a Romulan weapon upgrade equipped to this ship against the same target. So that's quite nice. If they stop your attack, you just say, nope, have another one. Independent. I love this one and I love this one. These are 2 things that I do use a lot when I'm going with Romulan fleets, for the plain simple reason that independent, when attacking or defending, if there are no friendly ships within range 1 to 2 of this ship, you may convert a blank into a hit or an evade result. And finally, opportunistic, which does similar things. So when attacking, modified defense dice step, if your opponent's ship has a lower captain skill than this ship, you may convert 1 blank or battle station into a hit result. So nice and easy there. Moving on to tech slots. Interface generator. So the interface generator, when defending, after all dice have been rolled, if this ship is cloaked, discard this card. You can cancel cancel the attack, and then this ship will suffer just 1 damage instead. So that's quite nice. Your opponent says, oh, I've got an 8 dice attack. You say, oh, okay. And then when defending, you go, do you know what? I'm cloaked. I'm discarding this card. I'm stopping your attack, and I'll just take 1 damage instead. Polarized hull plating. When your ship is hit, convert 1 critical into a hit result. It's only 2 points and works great. But could be quite situational because it's only one critical hit. One of my favourites to use, funnily enough, is Khan. Khan's another one of my favourite captains. But Khan works in mysterious and dark ways, where the one I like converts, when you convert from battle stations up, you don't convert from battle stations to hits, you convert straight into crits. So things like that wouldn't really affect him if there's so many. 8. Improved cloaking. I would say improvised cloaking. Improved cloaking. So this is the one I was telling you about, I believe. When this ship would perform a cloak action, you only have to disable one of your active shields. So you still keep 3 shields up, which is the improved cloaking for the scimitar only. 3 points. Why wouldn't you want to take it? 7. Plasma coil overcharge. You treat all your straight maneuvers as if they're green. During the execute maneuver step, if this ship performs a bank to the left or right, you may discard this card and treat that maneuver as green. So, I know that there is, but if you had a red one, for instance, you just discard your plasma coil overcharge, and then it becomes a green instead. If it's white, it's the same again. 6. Cloaked Mines. I despise Cloaked Mines, but it wouldn't be the correct list if I didn't play Cloaked Mines. So Cloaked Mines are evil. They basically allow your ship to move in and go, okay, there's no ships within range 2 of this, so I'm going to put 1 there. If an opposing ship comes within range 1 of that Cloaked Mine system, they basically have to roll damage. So, as you can see there, they roll 3 attack dice, and then it's -1 if the target immediately performs a scan action. Any hits or crits damage the ship as normal. So, if you move to within range 1 of it, you have to roll 3 dice. If you move again and you're still within range 1 of it, you still roll 3 dice. I'm not entirely sure if you move out of range 1 of it on the next turn, but I think, if I remember right, you're supposed to still roll 3 dice. But I could be wrong on that one, so don't quote me. Yeah, disgusting upgrade, but worthwhile. In a 5, the Muon Feedback Beam. I love this card because quite a lot of the time, I will take auxiliary power tokens during the game. And what I do is during the end phase, I'll say, okay, I'm not cloaked because I fired this turn now. Have an auxiliary on your ship from my ship. Hey, it's a present. And it's just naughty. So you have to be at range 1. It does cost 3 points, but it's great to get rid of auxiliaries if you need to. 4. Ventral Thrusters. Pretty much similar to the Romulan cloaking device. When you perform a sensor echo with your ship, whereas the Romulan cloaking device will let you use a 1 or a 2 bank. This one only lets you use the 1 bank, but it still works. So activation phase, discard this card, and then you perform a free sensor echo action. Even if you're not cloaked, and you can use the 1 template to maneuver instead. It is a discard though, which is unfortunate. But obviously if you chose to discard the card, then you would perform it as the free. You still get the top part anyway. Improved cloaking devices in at 3. So if you have a cloak icon on your action bar, you may perform a cloak action even if you have no active shields, and or if there is an auxiliary power token beside your ship. So it's basically, it's 5 points for a Riemann Warbird, it's 10 points for anything else. But it basically works like, okay, you've killed my shields, I've got no shields left on my ship, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cloak. And you're going to go, well, how are you going to cloak? Because you have no shields left. You can say, I have improved cloaking device, which allows me to, even though I have no active shields, still perform the cloak. Great little card. 2. Advanced cloaking. So when attacking, if this ship is cloaked and does not have the auxiliary power token beside it, you can place an auxiliary power token, and then you don't flip the cloak over to the red side, which is nice. 4 points, slightly costly, Definitely worthwhile. And finally, number 1 is obviously the Romulan cloaking device. You add the cloak action to the ship's action bar. This ship may use the 1 or 2 bank templates when performing a sensor echo action instead. And if equipped to a Romulan ship, this ship may perform the sensor echo as a free action. There's been a few comments recently about how the Romulan cloaking device would work if you put it on something like the Defiant, because the Defiant also has the ability to cloak. So you could put the Romulan cloaking device on the Defiant. It would give you the ability to cloak, but you'd still have the ability to do the sensor echoes of the banks. The issue lies with the fact that the Defiant doesn't naturally have the ability to perform a sensor echo, so you would still need to find a way to put the sensor echo action onto your action bar. But yep, that is the tech slots there, guys. 10 of my favourite techs. And so far we've gone through tech, we've gone through captains, we've gone through the ships, we've gone through the elites. Moving on swiftly, we are now on to the weapons. Weapon number 10. Disruptor Beams. It is a 5 dice attack. It is range 1 to 3. You place 3 time tokens on this card and target an opposing ship. For each hit or crit the defending ship suffers, roll 1 attack dice. If you rolled at least 1 hit or crit, the defending ship suffers 1 additional damage. So it's a nice way of giving you that little extra punch to your attack. It is 5 points, but it's 5 points well spent in my opinion. Number 9, Singularity Leak. So I like this card because whenever a ship performs a maneuver and ends within range 1 of you, which happens quite a bit of times actually, to be fair, you can roll 1 attack dice, and then on a hit or crit, the ship will suffer 1 damage as per normal. Then you've got number 8, which is the Heavy Disruptor. It lets you fire 4 dice. It's only for the Deradex class, and it can only be fired forward, which is a slight nightmare. But still not too bad, considering. For the attack, you will take an auxiliary power token, and you can target an opposing ship. It's range 2 to 3, and then during the modify defense dice step, if the target has a printed agility value of 0 or 1, you can add 1 critical result. So basically, it could even prove to be a 5 dice attack if needs be. I do apologize. I keep looking off to the left because I'm watching an old classic on Disney Plus at the moment. Bit of the X-Files. Anyway, number 7. Triphasic Emitters. Has a question mark, has question marks, but does have a cost of 2. So basically what happens is, during the setup phase, or before you do it, you choose a non-Borg weapon upgrade with a cost of 5 or less, and place it face down beneath this card. To attack, you discard this card, flip the card that is beneath this card face up, and perform the attack listed on it, if possible. And then after the attack has resolved, you discard that card as well. So it can prove to be a bit worthless, but it does give you the option to put anything you like from anywhere you like. So you can run a Ferengi weapon, you can run a Federation weapon. As long as it's not Borg, you can run anything you like. As long as it costs less than 5 or 5. 6. Photon Torpedoes. These are the Riemann Warbird special, 6 points. It is costly. They are on the list for a reason, because they will give your Riemann Warbird, instead of 5, you get +2. So they give them 7 in total for the dice attack. They're not designed for Riemann Warbird only. They can go on any ship at cost of 6. That there basically gives you the extra 2. You spend your target lock and disable this card to perform the attack. It's got to be range 2 to 3. 5. Heavy Plasma Torpedo. So the Heavy Plasma Torpedo is a 4 dice attack from your forward arc. You place 3 time tokens on this card, place an auxiliary power token beside the ship, and target an opposing ship. And then during the modify attack dice step, if a target has a printed agility value of 0, you convert all your hits into criticals, which is absolutely disgusting for things like the battleship, for instance, for the Dominion, because they have a weapon 0 of 0. 2 seconds, bear with me. So yeah, anyway, that's that done. Into 4. Enhanced torpedoes. Enhanced torpedoes are great because they are a 5 dice attack. You convert 2 blanks into hits. So if you roll 3 hits and 2 blanks, you've got 5 hits. You do have to spend the ship's target lock and place 3 time tokens on this card to use it, but it is forward firing or rear firing, depending on the actual ship. So a lot of ships, as you know, have got the rear arcs. So let me just pop the stem off of this one. As you can see, the dotted line at the back there, or there. Basically, that dotted line will be your rear firing arc, whereas obviously the front one then is blocked in and colourful. So that's how that works. So remember that this here, this back symbol, doesn't just mean it can be fired rearly. So if you see a card that's just got that one on it instead of the forward one as well, doesn't mean it can't be fired forward. It just means that it can only be fired from a secondary arc, which Klingons are renowned for. We'll cover that in the Klingon video when I reveal the one ship. But basically, the dotted line is in the front arc as well. So we'll get to that later. 3. Thaleron weapon. It's a costly weapon. Don't use it very often, but it is nice when you do. So it's 5 points to play it. To play the card, you need to discard this card and target the opposing ship. It is forward firing only from a scimitar. It's 6 dice, range 1 to 3. Your opponent must discard either a captain, admiral, ambassador, or a crew upgrade equipped to the defending ship. If you hit, you cancel one of the criticals to discard either the defending ship's captain, admiral, yada yada. So when you initially give the attack and discard the card, they have to choose one. But you can cancel a critical to make them choose a second one as well. Thaleron weapon is absolutely disgusting. Into 2. Flanking attack. I use this a fair whack as well. I love this card. So basically, it's got a primary weapon value that's equal to the ship's primary weapon value. It's range 2 to 3. And what happens is you place 3 time tokens on this card and target an opposing ship. If this is equipped to a Valdor class, this ship rolls +2 attack dice. So your Valdor class, if we just run up to the top there, the Suran is a Valdor class. So, excuse me, it's only got 4 attack dice. But if you've got that on there, it goes up to 6 attack dice. I do apologise. I'm having a bit of an air reflux here. So, if the ship is not in the forward firing arc of the defending ship has to roll 2 defense dice. So if you're off to the side, not only are you firing 6 dice that way with a Valdor, but because they're facing that way, they're firing 2 less defense dice, which is broken because it's just like, here you go, have 6 dice. You can't do nothing about it. So it works well. And finally, number 1 on the weapons choice, ventral disruptors. Same as my personal favourite, dorsal phaser array. Never leave home without it. Ventral disruptors. Never leave home without them either. So it's a 3 dice attack at range 1, any direction you like, and you may convert a battle station to a hit result as well. It's 3 points. Alright, it's not as good as the dorsal phaser array, because dorsal phaser array, remember, allows you to have range 1 to 2, whereas this is fixed. You can only use range 1. but it's fine. Then, finally, for the video, guys, my top 10 crew. In at number 10, Nanklus. His action states that discard to target an opposing ship at range 1 to 3. The target ship gains 1 attack dice this round, but cannot roll defense dice. So Nanklus can turn to a sovereign and say, hey, you've only got 5 dice for your attack. Have 6. Oh, by the way, when I shoot you, you have no defense dice. Especially things like the sovereign that's boosting with like Ahab Picard. So if he's got a 3 dice attack, he ain't rolling nothing. So Nanklus is quite a nasty one. Number 9, the Riemann Helmsman. So you disable this card, disregard your revealed maneuver, and you can perform a 1 back maneuver instead. If this card is equipped to a Dederadex class, you treat it as a white maneuver instead of a red maneuver. So you throw that onto Dederadex and you move in and you're like, uh-oh, I'm just at range 1 of your ship. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go backwards instead. Disable the card, pull backwards, I'm now range 2 instead. It works lovely. Viceroy is in at 8. So Viceroy, if your ship is cloaked, you could target an opposing ship at range 1 to 2. Place 2 time tokens on a crew upgrade equipped to the target ship, and if it's on a scimitar, you may perform a free action of a sensor echo. So I believe I've got this bit right, but what I did in my last game was I had him on a scimitar class. I moved within range 1 to 2, disabled crew upgrade with 2 time tokens, performed the free sensor echo to move out the way, and then because I've got the RCD which lets you perform a free sensor echo, I moved again. I was meaning to check on it actually, but I'm pretty sure I was legit with what I was doing. But I will find out. 7. Sub-Commander. So Sub-Commander is great. So you execute maneuver step. If this ship performed the green or white maneuver that did not overlap a ship or obstacle, you get to place an evade token. He is costly at 5 points, but as long as you don't bump into anything, you get a free evade. Oh, I'll take that any day. 6. Tactical Officer. So if you are outside the target ship's primary firing arc, so if he's facing that way and you're over here or down there, you get to add 1 hit result to your attack roll. That obviously goes on at the end after you've rolled dice, but basically that's how that would work. Number 5, Tarul. She's one of my favourites because she lets you put the Romulan cloaking device on for 0. So it won't cost you to run it. Whenever you would perform the cloak action, you place a evade token beside this ship. If this is equipped to a Defiant class, you may place a battle station token instead. She is 2 points. She will become 3 points on a Defiant class, which is a slight shame, but they should have put some sort of wording in that if she's on a Defiant, she stays at 2. But that's cool. It's no problem, because at least you're going to get the RCD on the Defiant as well. In at 4, Vendorian Spy. I see this card used quite a lot. So during the activation phase, you can target a crew upgrade on a friendly ship at range 1 to 2, and this card's action will become the same as that card's action. So if you've got Tactical Officer, for instance, on a ship over here, and then you've got Vendorian Spy on this one, Vendorian Spy can trigger and take Tactical Officer as his ability. 3, B4. So this is one of the newer cards in the game. It came in the Secrets of Tal Shiar pack, and I have used it once, to be fair, but I liked what he did, so that's why he's quite high up on my list. So B4 has the action that you disable this card and target an opposing ship within range 2 to 3. The target ship either executes a one left or one right or one forward maneuver of the opponent's choice, so they have to perform one. If the target is also a Federation ship, it rolls -1 attack dice this game round. If it's got Enterprise in its name, you place 2 time tokens on the captain as well. So B4 works quite nasty. More, I'd call him probably more B9 than B4. But he sorry, that's a terrible joke. But he is absolutely disgusting. Because if you're a Federation ship, you're at -1. You do have to move. And if your Enterprise is in your name, then you're just going to go. Because your captain has now been nullified. Number 2, as we're slowly reaching the end, Navala. Navala is great. So Navala gives your captain skill a +1. If it's a Romulan captain, it's a +3. So if no matter what Romulan captain you got, you could have Shins on at 8, her as your crew, and she'll give you +3, making Shins on 11. Absolutely broken. So when defending, you can spend an evade token beside this ship, and then when you do, you place a battle station instead. And finally, guys, the last card on this list is... We've already had 1 or 2 revealers for it. It's Patak. So, when attacking with your primary weapon, during the roll attack dice step, you may discard this card to gain +1 attack dice for this attack. It is only 1 point. Unfortunately, you can only put it on 1 ship in your fleet as it is unique. But if you've got something that's firing low weapon skills and you just need that 1 extra dice just to finish someone off, Patak is the way to do it. And it will just go, have a punch. There's 1 extra attack dice. Especially if you've got things that convert, like... I don't know. There's so many cards on this list that can convert anyway. But basically, guys, that is my top 10s list for the Romulans. Sorry, I had a bit of a moment there for my mind. So this is my top 10 list for the Romulans and what I feel, I like to use if I'm going Romulan, or what I feel that you might like to use more so if you go Romulan. These are in a list. I've just realised that this is a list in order of how I would like to use them, or what I do like to use. But obviously, just because I like them doesn't mean that you have to like them. On that note, guys, I'm going to end the video there. There is an error on the screen, and let's see if anybody can tell me what it is in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to drop us a like, subscribe. Any comments you want to give us, even if you don't spot the mistake, just give us a comment. Any comment you like. And, we'll see how many people can spot it. I won't say nothing, by the way. But for now, I'm going to leave this video here, guys. That's been the Romulan, my top 10s for Romulans. I will do Klingon now this afternoon as well, and get that on the internet by tonight, hopefully. So that's the top 3 out the way. On that note, live long and prosper, and I'll see you all in the next one.